Right, so this video is going to set up for looking at phonetic transcriptions. We're actually going to be doing phonetic transcription throughout the semester with the transcription assignments, but we'll use this week to really dig into them and get set up for that. So what's the point of phonetic transcription? Well, part of the job of a phonetician is to describe utterances, describe how something has been pronounced. Now we have a description system already. We have those three dimensions for describing vowels and 3 for describing consonants. We have height, frontness, and rounding in vowels, and we have voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation for consonants. So we can already describe every utterance, but when you say even a single word, it may have 5 or 10 sounds in it, so that's 15 to 30 words to describe that word. It's nice to have something more compact, one symbol for each sound, rather than 3 words. And the other thing is that it's nice to have a universal system, something we can all use and share, so that when I have this nice compact representation of a pronunciation, I can share it with someone else who's phonetically trained, and they'll understand how that utterance was produced. Okay? And I do want to belabor a little bit the idea that a phonetic transcription represents a pronunciation. It represents something that you or some other phonetician has observed in the world. Even dictionaries that have phonetic transcriptions, they typically describe pronunciations that are observed, the typical pronunciation, even though people do sometimes misuse them as arbiters of how things should be pronounced. So let's say I were to ask you, transcribe this word. The appropriate reaction would be, transcribe what? I haven't given you a pronunciation. I haven't even suggested a way that I expect you to collect that pronunciation. Do I want you to read the word aloud and transcribe your pronunciation? Do I want you to survey a group of people from a particular speech community and find a consensus pronunciation? Phoneticians do sometimes use shorthand, writing something like transcribe the word when they actually mean transcribe the typical pronunciation of the word, right? Or if it's me, my writing is generally, I think of it as I'm speaking. When I write it, what I'm thinking is transcribe the word cheesemonger and hoping that you have my pronunciation in your head while you're reading it, which is lazy and imprecise and can lead to misunderstandings about what the transcription is about. And one of those misunderstandings, and one of the reasons that I really do belabor this point, is that it's very easy for people to hear, rather than transcribe a typical pronunciation as what this transcribe is shorthand for, what they hear is transcribe the correct pronunciation of this word, right? And as soon as you do that, you're no longer being a linguist. And as soon as that's what people are perceiving from your communication, you're projecting a desire that isn't really a linguistic desire. So I encourage you to be as precise as possible with that. We don't want to accidentally slip into a prescriptive mode of looking at transcriptions. Okay, I think that's enough of that rant. On a practical note, I do want to point you to a couple of really cool utilities that we can use in linguistics. So let me just find right here. Okay. Now, first one I want to show you is this website. This is a website of the International Phonetic Association. They have an interactive IPA chart. And one thing that's really awesome about this is that when you're in the description mode, you can click on a symbol and it'll give you the letter, nice full description, and you can play recordings by various phoneticians that are it's like a reference sound, reference pronunciation, because you're going to be doing phonetic transcriptions and you're perhaps only just learning some of the, especially when we go beyond English, some of the symbols that you may need to represent those sounds. So I find this website is a really helpful way to uh, um, get that work done. Now, another website that I like, that website can actually be used for, you can use it to bring in these characters and copy them into your digital documents. But there's another website that I really like, and that's this one here. This is the TypeIt IPA keyboard, and it has, in sort of a quasi-alphabetical order, we have a lot of weird symbols, but they're all based, a lot of them are based on symbols from the Latin alphabet. So it sort of has the A-like symbols, the B-like symbols, and so on. And so you can look around here, you can add diacritics, and you can even type in things, and you can build a transcription and then copy it, right, and copy it into your document. So when I'm, for example, when I'm doing up documents for a class, for example, that have phonetic transcriptions, I generally use that website because I find it a lot more. It's easier to get things quickly than if I'm hunting through the full IPA chart in that interactive chart. Another thing that I want to point out is this phonetic symbol guide. Now, let's see if we can bring that up there. This is a document. I'll have links to all of these. This is actually a PDF file that you can get from the IPA website. And for each symbol, it has some information about its character encoding, but also the IPA definition. So if you want something a bit more compact than going through that website and clicking and calling things up, you can look at this straightforward table that has 10 pages, because there's a lot of symbols in the IPA, but it's quite thorough. And I do find people sometimes have difficulty communicating about IPA symbols. If you're talking about it rather than drawing it, this gives you some names that you can use to talk about it that are fairly standard. They're not incredibly, they're largely intuitive, but there's some eccentricities there, I guess. So if you want to do that, there's nothing in this course where you actually have to talk aloud about these things, so it's not something you have to know, but for convenience. Anyway, so those three resources I'll put in the links in this video. So that's setting up. There are 4 more videos covering the materials on transcription. One on types of transcription, then on consonants, vowels, and diacritics. The textbook has the final section of this chapter is transcription of General American English. Of course, this course is based on Canadian English, so I have a separate document going through that, and there's a video accompanying that. So there's sort of 5 more videos beyond this one. The 5th one not really attached to the textbook, except in a conceptual sense. Anyway, that's all for this video.